All right, everybody, welcome to episode 8 of the CraigSkitz podcast. This week with a close personal friend, Nathan Barnatt. Now, if you don't know who Nathan is without a doubt, I'm going to tell you, the most underrated physical comedian possibly in the world right now. I've known him for a long time. You've seen him in all the memes. He's danced at the Super Bowl. He has done literally anything. He's danced with stars. He's been in rap videos. He's been all over the place. But he started, at least in my world, as Keith Apicary on ScrewAttack.com. If you're a fan of Screw Attack back in the day, you know Keith and the impact that he made on our website and just the overall vibe and all the energy that he brought. And it was always a pleasure to have Nathan in town whenever he brought Keith with him. So this is truly a wild 90 minutes, and it starts off with a bang, man. I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed this conversation. I know you guys will too. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. I have new episodes every Monday at noon Central Time. Interviews with some of the best, most talented people on the internet. That is what this podcast is all about. And I have reaction videos to Screw Attack videos every Wednesday on the channel at noon Central. So please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and let's get on with the show. Episode 8 with Nathan Barnatt right now. I've been told, Nathan, that I shouldn't start the show. This one guy on a comment says, you can't start the show by saying hi to the person because that's too much like Joe Rogan. So apparently I can't say hello to you. So
wow.
Nathan.
Is that his catchphrase?
Yeah, apparently he says hello to the people. It's like, oh, so I can't speak to people? Okay. Well, hello, wow. Nathan.
Bonjour, Craig.
Bonjour. Hola, mi amigo.
I had a comment one time exactly like that, where I did a show that I was calling Hey Guys, because I used to write on a shirt, Hey Guys with marker. I thought it was just a random shirt to wear. I just wore it around. Didn't have anything to do with videos. The shirt said Hey Guys. And it was clearly handwritten. And then I started wearing it. This is like 5 years ago. I was like, oh, I should do like a show called Hey Guys. And some guy came after me, goes, you can't do that. He goes, that's my catchphrase. I was like, hey guys, the two words that every human says when they meet any other human, hey and guys. And then I was so mad at this person that he goes, no, that's like what I'm known for is Hey Guys, because he had this arcade show where he sat in his basement, he talked about arcade games, and he started off by going, Hey Guys. And I was like, and I said, oh, sorry. And I sent the guy a link to like 30 videos from iJustine. Every person who ever puts themselves on camera goes, Hey Guys, because that's just what you say. Right. So it's exactly like your person who said you can't start by saying hi, because Joe Rogan and every other living creature on this planet and dimension say that.
Man, what a crazy time we live in, right? I'll tell you what. Well, I think
people just want to nitpick.
I think I'm going to start every episode from here on out. Buongiorno.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I'm not Italian or anything, but I just really want to stereotype Italians. But buongiorno, let's have some pizza.
Let's have some podcast.
Yeah, let's have some podcast. Hey, some Italiano. Hey, whatever. How are you?
What is your nationality?
Oh, I am part Lithuanian, part Polish.
I'm Lithuanian.
Are you?
Yeah, like a big part Lithuanian.
Me too.
And then you don't meet many other Lithuanian people. It's always like I'm Italian or Irish or Scottish
No, I got Lithuanian, Polish, Swedish. I'm kind of like a Euro mutt. Mostly Lithuanian though, and Polish.
That's cool. Is that what Skistomis comes? Is that Lithuanian?
Yeah, it's funny because Skistomis, the actual name Skistomis, I've been told a couple different things, but from what I understand, Skistomis, it's spelled with Y's over in the homeland.
The motherland.
The motherland. It's spelled with Y's, and apparently it means some sort of soup broth or like cook or something like that.
Craig Soup.
Yeah, that's right. It's me, Mr. Soup, everybody. So
I like that. You should be called the Soup Man.
The Soup Man. That's right.
The Soup Man.
Just rebranding everything. Just
yeah.
The Soup Man podcast.
It's just like It's a bowl of soup when it says Craig in alphabet soup.
Right.
The Craig podcast.
What a great shirt, man! I'll tell you what a great shirt.
Yeah.
Like a bowl of tomato
Just don't
soup.
write hi. Don't have a bubble coming out of your mouth that says hi.
No. Anything but that. Anything but that.
You'll get sued by Joe Rogan.
Right. Yeah. Joe Rogan's coming after me after his $100 million deal. He's coming after the guy.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I heard about that. And he's also leaving LA. A lot of people are leaving LA. Like everyone I know is actually leaving LA. But
when
he's
are you coming
leaving.
to Texas? When are you coming? When are you coming to Texas?
You know, it's funny you say that. I shouldn't even I don't even say it on the internet. But I think I'm going to Texas.
Are you really?
Yeah, for real.
So you can bring all your crazy left-wing liberal ideas to
Yeah.
Texas and try to.
I'm bringing all the vegan crusaders your way. We're gonna get rid of those guns. We're gonna get rid of all those hamburgers.
That's right.
We're gonna spank you with the PC police baton.
That's right. No. You're gonna. But the problem is we're gonna defund the defund police baton, the battalion.
So basically, you're going to fund.
That's right. That's so funny. Well, so are you serious?
Yeah, I think so. So I've been thinking, okay, because Corona is like ruining the world and everyone, and LA is so expensive, and right now I'm just staying alive by doing like what you do, doing your own thing, and I'm like grinding, making videos, doing live streams and stuff. Yeah. And my rent here in this house is $1,600 basically for just my room. That's like what I spend for just to have a room. I live with my brother and my friend Tom, who you know.
Would you like to have a house for that in Texas?
And that's what I learned that I can have. I could have a 3-4 bedroom house, some with a pool for the same price that I'm spending for my box that I sit in every day. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, the reason I'm here in LA is because of like, I've been here for 15 years because of like the dream and goal of becoming a more known actor and doing big projects that are fun and being in movies and television shows. And like I pitch TV shows all the time. I have a current thing right now with Comedy Central. That's like the one thing that's hanging me up and keeping me here is this thing I'm doing with Comedy Central. But Corona's kind of messing that up big time. So I'm like, maybe I should just go somewhere cheaper for a year, save money for a year, I would save $1,200 at least a month, which is like $12,000 in a year, which is a ton of money. And I could just focus on doing videos for a year, make my life simpler, ride out Corona, hopefully, because I think it's gonna be another year until things are like, there's a vaccine, everything's back to normal, and I'm not missing much because no one's here. Like everyone I know in LA has either left already or the studios are shut down. And if you're not in a Marvel movie, you're not working, you know. That's kind of what's happening. I've had 2 auditions this past 4 months, and they've been like over Zoom, so. Yeah, so I have been thinking, I'll go to Texas. It's not too far. It's way cheaper. I know so many people in Texas, you being one of them. Yeah. So and it's something I have thought about.
You come this way, I'll hang out with you in person, Nathan.
Oh, 3D. We can have a 3D hangout.
Like I'll stay 6 feet away from you, but we'll be in person together hanging out.
And we can see each other's faces. Well, half of our faces, because we'll have to wear masks.
Well,
unless I just move into your house with you and your family, and then we'll just have to like, you know,
I gotta be honest,
quarantine together.
I don't know if my 6 and 8-year-old are ready for you.
You're not ready for a third child?
They're not ready for an Uncle Nathan.
No one's ready for. I'm not ready for Uncle Nathan.
No, I don't think so. But that
would safer for your family. I'll set a bad example. They'll be jumping off the roof.
Right.
Day one.
Yeah. Why is Uncle Nathan on the roof? What's he doing? I don't know. Just ignore him. He's a bad example.
Just ignore him.
This is a bad mistake. It's a horrible mistake.
I'd be like, I was gonna say Uncle Buck, but not really.
Hey, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck is a great movie.
Uncle Buck, while having rough edges, there was a silver lining to everything he did. He had good intentions.
That's what I was saying. That's why I wouldn't be like him, because your kids would not learn any lessons from me.
They're breaking bones.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Right, nice. Well, if you do come out and you do decide to to leave California and come to Texas for a little bit, you need to let me know because
I will,
listen.
for sure. This is the first time I've ever said it, and I shouldn't have said it on a public podcast, but it's just a thought I've been having.
Listen,
so
now is
you're the first person to ever hear this.
This is This is what we do on my podcast. CraigSkitz exclusives.
Yeah.
Graphics all over the place.
Barnatt abandoning his dream.
No. What you're doing. See, you can't think of it like that.
I know. I'm just giving myself a hard time.
You are positioning yourself to better your dream long term.
Well, that is true. So like I'm 39 now, and I've never think about my future. I just don't. I don't think about what's going on beyond today, and I have to start doing that because I have like a retirement fund in SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, and it's like not a lot of money. And I looked into it last year. I was like, oh, that's it. That's all I have for like to live off of when I retire. Yeah. At this point, and if I retire in like whatever 20 years, I'm like, that's only gonna like double. Crap. So I'm like, okay, I need to like do something. So I'm trying to save starting now at 39 years old. I have no savings. And I'm like, I should save money. So moving would be a big part of that because I would like to have my own house someday. My friend Charlene, she left LA. She's been here her whole life. She lived here, but she's acted a lot in a lot of things. And she's like, I just want to like leave LA now for a while. And she went to the East Coast and I think she's buying a house right now in another state. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how much you're buying a house for? Los Angeles really messes with your understanding of like what things really cost in the world. Like houses don't have to be $10 million for a 2-bedroom house.
California as a whole messes with your perception of everything that you think is happening in the world because there's California. Really, and then there's like everywhere else, right?
California is another planet.
Yes, it is. It is
for good reasons. I love California. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's good for me. It's good. I love seeing I love going to the beach. I love riding my bicycle everywhere. I love the palm trees. I love the health, and the fitness and mentality out here. Like everyone is obsessed with being healthy, and there's a ton. The most positive people I've ever met are here because everyone's just like in a good mood. I know there is like grumpy people too, but that's like. Coming from the East Coast, people here are angels and saints. So,
well, yeah, that's
I
true.
love it up here. But did I just go away?
Oh, I know, I got you, buddy.
Oh, my computer just went to sleep.
No, we're okay. We're okay.
It just went black, and now you're back. Okay, good. There's a window. I'm on a PC, and I never use PC. I'm a Mac man.
Well, that's okay. No worries. Well, so you're saying from West Coast compared to East Coast, people are a lot nicer.
I've learned in 15 years, because I think people often come from other places in LA specifically, but like California has like that whole laid back thing, and I think that is true. It's a pretty accurate cliche, I'd say, about people on the West Coast. But then people who come to LA are so positive because they're like, I'm here to like live a dream. So people are in a good mood until they get disgruntled and then leave. Right. But for the most part, they're happy while they're here.
Right.
I am often in a good mood, and I think maybe it's also because you find people that are similar. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's nice having that and being in that environment, but it's incredibly expensive. It's
you can find people, Nathan, that like to be happy and are active really anywhere, like anywhere, and it won't cost you $2,000 a month to live in a box. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's
I know. Insane. Well, the main reason I'm here is because of like television networks and all the offices are here. Mm-hmm. I mean, all the things you've done when you come out here, I'd have to do kind of like what you do. It's like you go out to LA to do the LA stuff and then go back home, which I'm thinking isn't really that big a deal. It's like a short flight.
Yeah.
So
and the flights are cheap. You could legitimately, Nathan, you could have get an audition booked in the morning, catch a flight an hour later, 2 hours later, and be there by the audition in the afternoon.
I know. It's true. I could do it if I really want to.
Yeah, because you're flying back in time.
I know. It'd be kind of expensive but now things have changed though, because all auditions, I think casting agencies aren't going to be having offices anymore, or not going to need to, because everyone's used to using Zoom already. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the first calls are just going to be because you get two calls, they call you in, then you call you a second time.
Sure.
They might want to see you in person a second time, so I could fly out for that one the following week or whatever. But yeah, first call auditions, like I could do them on Zoom probably from any city.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, it's just a thought. That's something I'm thinking about.
Well,
we'll see.
If this fruition, this CraigSkitz exclusive happens, and you do end up making your way out here. And if you want help looking for an apartment, I'll glad or an apartment or house, whatever it may be.
I want a house.
Okay,
I want to better my situation. I want a pool and a bigger house.
Okay.
For less money, but
listen,
I would move with friends, so
okay.
it would be like, wouldn't just be me, so I could afford. I've looked on Zillow and I've seen some stuff, and I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe what I'm finding.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Really I will help you find whatever it is you're looking for. I won't even charge you 3% like a real estate person would.
Whoa.
Straight up, I'll just find it for you, and I'll say,
I'll buy you a sandwich when I come there.
Ooh, can I have meat on it?
I won't. You don't tell me what's on it, and I'll just pay for it.
Okay. I'm gonna get the most meat. I'm gonna be like a meat lover. No. So let's go back. Let's take a step back, okay? Because a lot of people who may not be familiar with you, who are watching or listening, I'm sure some people may have never heard of you. Some people know you and love you, right? So
the one guy here, the guy who told you not to say hi, is my biggest fan.
Right.
That's who knows me.
Yeah, he's gonna start every episode with "Buongiorno, buongiorno, Nathan." Okay, if you're watching this right now, whether you're watching on YouTube or just listening, if you're listening to this, I just want you to go "Buongiorno, Nathan," or if you're watching on YouTube, I want to see "Buongiorno, Nathan's" in the chat or in the comments. So we got to know each other obviously through Screw Attack. Through Talking Classics, which the first time I saw you as Nathan or as Keith Apicary, I remember seeing the first episode, and I legitimately didn't know if Keith was a character or not, and I loved everything about it. I wasn't sure, but it was so amazing. I was like, I had to find a way to get this on Screw Attack. It was the best.
It's funny. Because exactly how you felt is what I really wanted. My whole goal with Keith from the beginning was to trick people, because I put 3 episodes up on YouTube after seeing The King of Kong and Chasing Ghosts, the documentaries on video game players. I was like, I loved video games. I had tons of video games. I was like, I need a new character I have to do has to be a guy, and that people think this is real. And I wanted it to seem like this is like a piece from a documentary, and this was like the 5 minutes spent on this character, and then we hopped around. I wanted it to seem like, oh, there's like all these different characters, and this is the moment we're focusing on this guy, Keith Apicary. And my parents were the first ones to see it, and they were like, this is your best character. He's the best. Like, my parents loved Keith for some reason. I did a harder Boston accent in the beginning with Keith. Yeah. And so what you felt is what I was going for. And it was funny because right around then was when I think I messaged you, because my friend Tom, who I live with here, Tom, who you know, told me about Screw Attack. He's like, you should talk to the guys at Screw Attack. They have Angry Video Game Nerd, and they do their own, all these crazy video game things. And you're sort of like the Angry Video Game Nerd with what you're doing. They might be into it. So I messaged you, hey, I have this thing. You probably thought, who is lunatic messaging me about this? So I couldn't thank you enough for enjoying it and putting it on Screw Attack, because it gave me a massive audience. I had like a little audience on YouTube at the time from the other characters, and Screw Attack just like, it was a perfect place for Talking Classics. So it was glad liked it.
Keith was the perfect character for Screw Attack. Like,
it was like the insanity was
like par. There's so many great things that happened with Keith, whether it was in video. Like, it's funny, I go back and I think about the like NeoGeo, right? NeoGeo popped up in my recommendations the other day, right? And
cool.
There's a verse in there about Screw Attack, and you talk about Game Attack, and it's like, I was like, man, that's awesome. Go back and listen to that. I'm like, man, that's really, really cool. And it was really neat to have that happen, you know?
I liked doing all that, like, because Keith was like, he was like a fan of Screw Attack. It made sense for the character for him to be like watching Screw Attack and watching all this video game content as he played video games. So when he's making a song about a video game, he should be mentioning also like websites and other places he finds content online.
Yeah, Racket Boy and stuff.
Racket Boy. I mentioned Racket Boy at the very end. That was a little shout out to them. That was a Racket Boy. I don't know if anyone knows about them, but they're like they're still a forum. It's just a video game forum for classic gaming people. and Keith was on there. I was always on there in character and stuff, talking to people. But yeah, I just like getting the character deep in the world of video games. So he was then legitimate, like, because I was actually in there doing it. So I was like, well, I'll just make it Keith, because then I can use it in videos and songs and stuff. But yeah, that line about in NeoGeo, wasn't it about the wet conga at SPC?
At SGC,
yeah. That was a fun night. There was, I don't know, people I don't know. There's a line in the song we're talking about where Keith says, "I'll never forget the wet conga or the hotel front desk babe named Sonia." Yeah, because the girl working that year at the hotel for the convention you put on, her name was Sonia, and Keith got obsessed with her because it was Sonia Blade, and we did a wet conga through the hotel after Keith and everyone jumped in the pool. We were all like in our underwear just running around the hotel. So I was like, I gotta write. That was like one of the best experiences of my life. So I had to write something about it into the song.
It's so funny to think about that, like because that line in particular. I mean, there were that first year of SGC, there was I think 1,000 people, right? So you write this song and not all, like, so maybe a handful of people get the reference, which I think also, which those who get it like really get it, and those who don't, they're just like, oh, it's a catchy song,
It's just, it's a catchy thing,
right? But it's so fun and so niche that I always appreciated it.
Super niche.
Right. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite like Screw Attack memory that you really hold near? My brother was asking about the Steve.
The videos Keith, we did together.
The dance mashup. I don't even know where that's at. I haven't seen that. I don't even know if it's online anymore.
I thought he posted something about it recently. I thought, isn't it on his YouTube channel? Doesn't he have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, maybe it is. I remember he posted something about it, but it was funny because Steve and Keith were kind of like one in this. They're kind of like a yin and yang,
Spirit.
Right?
Because they both had like that childish, like youthful excitement,
right,
and like ignorance. I guess I don't want to say stupidity, but they're both like wide-eyed, eager, energetic people. So it was definitely a good combo, those two.
Just dancing and having a good time, and
he would do similar interactions at stuff with you. Isn't that what you guys did originally, where he would just go and ask people like dumb things at LAN parties, conventions and stuff like that?
Right, exactly. So the whole idea with Steve was like Brad legitimately didn't know anything about video games. He knew that I was I had this website, and I was like, hey, we're going, like, the first time Steve came out was at QuakeCon, I think like 2006 or 7 or something like that. And so it was a long time ago. And I literally just handed him a microphone, and he's like, okay, I want to be, I think the first time he said he was Steve was actually on camera, because I just handed him a microphone and it just said go.
You just make up a name.
Yeah, made it up on the fly. And that night we were I was still living at my parents' house at the time, and I think Brad was too. I think we were both living at, I'm like 25, he's 23 or whatever, and we're both living there, just trying to figure out how to do this thing. And I remember he had his guitar out, and I held out a recording device next to the guitar, and just said, like, make a theme song, and that's where his theme song came from. And it wasn't professionally recorded. I literally just held out a and it kind of added to it. It was really great.
I love stuff like that. That's like Keith entirely.
Right.
It's just shot like garbage. You piece it together. I feel like it's more organic that way, and it's more fun. It's definitely more artsy and artistic, and like you're making something, and you're doing it only out of like fun, and like just to do it.
Right.
But then it's obviously to have quality and stuff like we do now, but you got to have those early days of just like figuring it out, to then appreciate and to then grow and figure out what the heck you're actually doing. I still do stuff like that sometimes. I'll still shoot stuff like Keith. I used to do videos where I would just, and then I started purposely like deteriorating it, but like the original quality was like just so bad that's just because I was just like set the camera up, put it in front of me, and just record. And it worked with the character being like this crazy person. The quality had to be down lower. But then there'd be times where I'd like film the thing. If footage didn't look bad enough, if it didn't look VHS enough, I would then play it on a TV and film a TV and then use that as the footage,
Oh,
so
wow.
that it was a recording of an actual TV screen of the footage, and then use that as the final product, because I wanted it to have another layer of like low quality.
Right. It's funny because
Yeah,
I think of like James, like the angry Nintendo nerd, angry video game nerd, and I think like when he switched over to HD footage, I was kind of like, oh man, you know,
yeah,
like
right.
I,
Like,
I really appreciate like this guy being in 4:3 and you know capping out at 480p, you know, instead of this.
yeah.
You know.
I love that's a joke I always get on things like Keith and other videos out, like some of the music videos I do. Is like a guy who's like really annoying. He's the most annoying guy in the world. I have these like annoying songs, and I try to make everything look really bad. And then comment that always comes up is like, oh, love that sweet 360p or whatever.
Right.
I always like a low quality rate is like a thing on my videos. That's the people have come to know. And if it's higher than that, I think people are disappointed, because you can see all this stuff everywhere. I come to this guy for garbage.
It's funny because there's a really great app that I've talked about this before. It's called Rare Vision.
Is it a VHS one?
Yes. Have you seen it? Have you played
I've
with it?
seen different ones, and some of them will put the date in the bottom, and there's like pretty good scrambles.
Yes. Like I have it pulled up right now, and it is. I mean, it looks straight out of 1988. Like it's so good.
Does it make it 4:3 if you want as well? Because one complaint I have, and I did it once or twice on Talking Classics, and I never did it. I didn't like doing it, but putting VHS on a wide format just doesn't make sense, because it was always 4:3.
Right.
But younger people wouldn't know that. They'd be like, oh, it just looks bad. They don't know aspect ratios, or maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't like ever doing that. It has to be 4:3.
Yeah,
that's. And 4:3 is like coming back now too. It's like,
is it? It's like vinyl.
Films are like, people are shooting in 4:3 for their movies.
It's like the hip thing to do.
It is hip. It's like a hip thing, and it's annoying because I like it, but then now if it becomes a thing, it's like I don't like it as much. Right. Doing it too much, but
the ultimate hipster, Nathan Barnatt, the ultimate hipster, the vegan super hipster who loves 4:3 footage.
It's funny because I have so many aspects about me that are like in line with like hipsters and hipster culture and all that stuff. Especially like everywhere I go and eat and everywhere I walk around, I see everyone who looks like cliche hipsters, and I'm thinking, I'm just standing here with them. I'm just one of them. But I think I'm slightly off, or I'm not like on the nose hipster. I just have a lot of elements to me. But I purposely will dress. If it looks too cool, I won't wear it. If I'm like, oh crap, I can't. Those pants are too short. It's like everyone else. But like, I'm very hyper focused on like what everyone is doing with fashion and like in culture and like what people are wearing, and I'm very aware like what young people are doing, and I will purposely not do it. Even if I'm like, I kind of like that, I'm like, no, too much. I just want to look like a regular guy. I don't want people to think about something when they see me. I just want to be literally just a guy standing there, because I don't like being too affected. I have like this like love and hate relationship with fashion, because I don't want to be fashionable, and I also don't think people should try. I should, and that's another thing. I don't want to say people shouldn't. People should do whatever they want. They should wear whatever they want. Wear boas and feathers. Do whatever you want. But when people, I guess what bothers me is when people put so much effort into just what they're wearing. Maybe that's your thing. Fashion's your life. That's what you do. I do comedy or whatever. You should do fashion. You should do what you want. It's like hard because you start to have opinions. And I think I shouldn't have opinions, because now I'm just judging people. And I don't want to judge people. Yeah. Well, where's this opinion coming from? It's there. I got to get it out of my head.
Nathan, I'm going to throw something out your way. It's going to change your life. Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. First impressions happen every second of every day.
I know.
So and
that's what I'm afraid of.
And it's okay to judge people.
Wrong first impression.
No. You don't worry about that. You can't worry about that, Nathan. Right?
I know.
You can't worry about that. You can't worry about that. And I know you're. Listen, it's the old saying. You know, it takes a lot of work to look this bad. You know, when it.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Even because that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going through all this headache to avoid looking too cool.
Right,
I'm putting just as much effort into not doing what they are putting effort into doing. So like, what's the difference?
I love the idea that you as the guy who plays Keith Apicary, going out of your way to not look too cool.
I know. You look at Keith and you're like, this guy looks so uncool. But Keith is so uncool, he's actually cool.
Right.
Everything he wears. Let me go down a list here to tell you why Keith is the number one, the hippest millennial in the world.
Okay.
Keith wears magnified glasses that are square gold, like the cliche pervert looking glasses. Guy in a band glasses. I got them from CVS. They're like 5 times my prescription. They're $5. They're the gold rim square glasses. Every time you see a pervert in a movie or a predator, they always have those glasses.
Right.
I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't want Keith isn't supposed to be that type of person. It's just they are the ugly glasses that you can get easily. So those glasses, Urban Outfitters, American Apparel, Anthropology, all these super hip stores all sell them now. Young people all wear them now. Keith started doing this way back. 2009 is when I first started doing Keith. So he has the glasses, oversized bulky sweater, oversized crew sweatshirt. Every young 20-something girl wears giant sweatshirts now, big ones. Mom jeans, light blue, baggy, 80s, 90s mom jeans, taper at the bottom. They were ugly when I started wearing them. I got so many comments on, look how ugly that guy. There's a video when I did the Virtual Boy video, I was knocking over mannequins in the Gap. This woman in the shot that runs out on her phone. You can see her in the shot. Me and my friend Paul, who shot it, we had a GoPro stuck in his shirt. That's how we were filming it. And he was just an onlooker, like going, whoa. He had to react all the time. No one knew he had a camera in his chest. So he says to me all the time, we quote what the woman said when she walks out of that store. She goes, a man just knocked over all the mannequins and his pants were so high. That's what she was focusing on, was how high Keith's pants were. What? Because I wear the waist pretty high and I put a belt on, I tuck in the sweatshirt. That's what she was more concerned about that than all the things I just damaged, and that they almost fell on her. And she was fleeing for her safety, but his pants were so high. So
there's so much. There's so much gold there. There's so much gold.
You know, man, that video, there was a lot of gold from that 2 days of knocking things over. I didn't get in trouble once for any of that stuff. Everyone's concerned for me and thought I was going to sue them. I was breaking all this stuff in their stores. Everyone rushed over like, are you okay? Oh my God. Are you sure you don't want to, you need to talk to management or something? Like, no, I'm trying to get out of here so you don't arrest me. And they thought it was clear that they thought I had a lawsuit on my hands because I slipped on all their stuff or whatever. I tried to buy the last shot in the thing. I wanted to break glass. I wanted to break something that was noisy. And I was like, okay, I'll go to a Salvation Army or Goodwill. I'll bring like $50 and I'll buy everything that I knock off this shelf. And I just like knocked all these glasses and vases off the shelf when there was no one around. Paul and I like super checked to make sure I don't want to hurt anyone, but I needed like a big ending with like smashing sounds. So I was like, I'll just buy it all. I went to the Goodwill and I knocked all the stuff over and I was like, oh gosh, I slipped. I'm so sorry. And I had the money to pay it. And they were like, no, don't. They would not let me buy it. I was like, can I just give a donation? They wouldn't let me. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm in character, I wouldn't break. I didn't think until actually right now that I should have broken character and be like, this is a bit. Then they probably would have got mad at me. Right. But I was like trying to give them money. They wouldn't take it because they felt bad for me that I fell into all their stuff. That's like an old woman falling over and then her saying, here, take my money. And they'd be like, no, man, no. Right. But anyway, the final thing I was going to say about that outfit is Keith, I went and bought orthopedic old person shoes. They cost me $300 because they're like medical grade orthopedic shoes for people who get blood clots. They're like super comfortable shoes and they're all one color tan. So they're like, you know how old people have all black or all tan shoes? Yes. I always thought my grandmother used to wear them. They were like off-white, tan, gross color. The sole is the same color as the shoelaces and the tongue. Like the whole thing looks like it just got a bucket of paint dropped on it. No design at all in these shoes. Those are now what all the young people are wearing. These chunky shoes that are hideous, that have super orthopedic qualities to them, is exactly Keith from head to toe is what but when these kids start shaving their heads to go bald before they're going to, then that's when Keith will be 100% affecting culture.
Why?
They all look like Keith Apicary now.
You should like Look, I'm not here to throw ideas out at you because I don't know where I don't know where Keith sits on your on your pantheon of ranking characters, but
Yeah,
but
he's
I'm just
pretty
saying,
high up.
what if Keith was to make his way out and just go hang out with some of these kids who look exactly like him? You know, I think that'd be hilarious. And he's trying to relate to them and stuff, and talking about NeoGeo and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, retro.
So they wouldn't. They would. Yeah, that's the thing. To them, PlayStation 2 is retro.
Right. It's
they'd
old.
be like, what's it? They wouldn't even know what a NeoGeo is, I don't think.
Well, you should then go talk about you should go talk about
That would be
PlayStation
a
3
good video.
the classics.
Yeah,
you know?
PS3, the classics, PS3. Whatever system came out last.
Right, yeah, the classics of God of War 3. Oh, it was the best, whatever.
Yeah. You know what's very funny? So I do the dad character a lot right now because it's like he's got some momentum and people are into it. So I'm just like, and I'm still having fun with it. So I'm doing dad a ton, but dad never played video games because I was trying to keep dad separate from like everything else I did because video games always bled into every character. Obviously Keith because that was his thing, but then like some of the other characters, Trale Lewous would sometimes talk about video games, but he shouldn't. He should have been Candy. And then Ray Amsley, I started the peg leg guy, started talking about Streets of Rage because that made sense for him in Mortal Kombat. And I was like, I shouldn't. I should just, he's self-defense. The peg leg guy should be self-defense. But we did that whole we did all these videos where they play video games. I was like, I just can't because I love video games. Dad, I was like, I'm keeping them separate. I'm not going to do video games. People always were asking because I would do live streams as dad. They'd be like, no. They'd say, Dad, what video games do you play? Dad, you should play Portal because Portal like makes sense for the storyline of Dad. And I was like, that's a pretty good idea. I should have Dad play Portal. But I would always say, no, because Dad is a dad. And people say, what's your favorite game? He says, taxes. I do my taxes and a calculator. And he has a calculator in the video. So the calculator was his video games. And I'd always disappoint them and say, no, Dad doesn't play video games. He plays his taxes. That's what he does. But then I broke and I caved in and I started playing video games. I started a whole gaming channel and it's what's keeping me alive right now is playing games, the donations and subscriptions and all that stuff. So, and I'm having fun doing it, but like I separated now. The main channel of Dad is the story and the gaming channel is like Dad playing games on a separate channel. Anyway, The point is I'm trying to make here is some kid, I ramble too much. This kid, I was playing a game the other night. I was playing Fortnite. I play Fortnite as Dad because I think it's funny for Dad to play like the cliche Fortnite, Minecraft, play all the. I do love these games. I've learned now that I do love Fortnite, and I'm mad that I love it, but it is fun. I get it. So Dad was playing Fortnite with these young kids. I have some kids who are straight up 10 years old who I play with. It's crazy how much they know about video games at 10 years old, and it's crazy how they speak as 10-year-olds. Because when I was 10, I was like literally licking dirt. I was like. I had one brain cell. I was like a baby. I didn't understand anything. I don't think we had an Atari at 10 years old. I don't know. But anyways, this kid was playing with the kid at the time was so excited to be playing with me. He was going on because he watched the videos and he was like 12 years old or something. He was going crazy. He's like, oh man, I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm playing with you. He's like, this is awesome. And I was like breaking character because I was laughing so much at this kid. So the kid says to me, I was like, what's the oldest video game you've ever played? Because I'm thinking this kid's probably played PlayStation 3 and that's it because he's 12. So he goes, oh, one time my uncle and I played Nintendo 65. And I laughed so hard. It was an very instant mistake. We said Nintendo 65, but it was so perfect in the moment. It was so funny because he got it so wrong. I was crying and laughing for like 10 minutes. I couldn't get back into character. It was so funny. And then everyone in the chat was laughing because they're all like Screw Attack fans who play video games. It's like all these older people who are in their 30s. It was so funny that this kid just didn't know what Nintendo 64 was. It was something his uncle brought over. It's a strange device. And he called it Nintendo 65. That's what he remembered. But it was basically, I was just trying to say, yeah, these kids don't know what all video games are. And I'm thinking, I'm not even an old person. I still feel young. Like I still go out dancing, but I probably look like the dad. When all these like 20-year-olds are dancing, I'm straight up double their age now. I'm turning 40 at Royal Rumble this year.
Wow.
I always say Royal Rumble because it's right near my birthday. But yeah, it's weird. And I don't feel that. I feel truly as the old as this kid on my live stream. I feel like I got stuck at 10. And that's great. Like Keith always said, He has the mind of a 14-year-old in the body of your uncle. That's what Keith's catchphrase was. And it's true. I have the body, at least the head of someone's uncle. And I am a 39-year-old guy, but I feel like I'm 10. And I don't think you ever get out of your teenage years, your formidable years when you're playing like your favorite games. That becomes you forever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like whenever I play Street Fighter 2, like I'm
that's like your game, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like I'm in it.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. I love it.
Your prime. Streets of Rage is my prime. Like that defines me. That game.
Well, did you like 4?
Streets of Rage 2. Oh my God, 4 is so good. I've played it through 3 times. I am obsessed with. I beat it on a live stream straight through the first time, and then the second time was on another live stream, and then I just played it again for myself for fun on Switch. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I love it. And at first I was hating on it because I didn't like to see the flash. I didn't like this more like comic book animation. I wanted just 16-bit. I was like, just please. So I was like against it for a long time. I was like, this is a bummer. This is annoying. And then when it started coming out, when I started seeing more images, I was like getting into it. And I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And then when I played it, I think it might be the best Streets of Rage, honestly.
Ooh, man, that's
I'll
great.
say it. And I'm a major. Streets of Rage 2 is the best. It's always going to be the best. 3 was really good because I like that you can roll in the foreground and the background. You could do rolls and you could run. And I love that you could dash forward. It was so good. I didn't like Axel's outfit. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but I didn't like his black leather pants. They were just ugly. I liked his classic look with the jeans and the white high tops. He looked cool like that. But the game was awesome. I liked 2 and 3. And 4, I don't know. I maybe it's just because it's new and exciting, but I love 4 so much. And you can have the old soundtrack on it.
Right. Yeah. And you can play as the old look of the characters.
And you can play as the old characters. So it's like, why? How can I hate this game? You can't. You gave me what I was complaining about. They gave me what I wanted. Yeah, they're awesome. It's great.
It's good stuff. Awesome. Well, it's funny. The gentleman who created your the Keith Apicary Talking Classics Streets of Rage thing that you put on your T-shirt. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the shirt.
Yeah. Like he actually reached out to me recently, and
oh really?
Yeah.
Was it Blood and Chrome? No, who did that one? The Keith of that one. Oh, this he's from Sweden or somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I'm forgetting his name now. Something. Yes, I know him now, and I can picture him.
But yeah, it's pretty awesome. You reached out, and I was like, oh, you did Nathan shirt. It was great.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
Yeah, it was good. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take another step back because I said something that I went into the Steve stuff, and I want to take a step back and go all the way back to the Screw Attack stuff.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite Screw Attack memory?
I just started rambling about.
Well, yeah, I started talking about Steve, and that's how it happens. It's okay. We have all the time in the world.
This chair is so squeaky. Favorite moment. There's too many. There really, really is too many. I'm thinking maybe it was one of the moments at one of the conventions. I'd say just I can't pick a favorite moment. You mean physical when I was with you,
whatever you want,
or just a video, or maybe something I filmed, or something I watched.
Whatever you look back on, you go, that was great.
I really liked the time I went there, and every time I went there and filmed stuff with you guys, it was really fun. Mm-hmm. When Keith did Hard News was really fun. Hard Dudes or whatever he called it.
Right.
But then the conventions were I had to say conventions. The first Screw Attack, probably because it was the first one, so they were all incredibly fun. But like staying up all night with everybody and just going crazy, which isn't what you really wanted or anyone wanted, because obviously you don't want anyone to get hurt and you want to be able to come back and do this again.
Right.
But it was just such pure joy from like everyone, because we were all just physically playing. At night we were having the competition where we could jump over the tables, and we were putting pillows and things to get higher and higher and see who could jump the highest over. We were just messing around in the hotel at night. There's no one around, a bunch of video game players going crazy. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best times of my entire life. It definitely was.
It's so funny. You think back on those things, and let me kind of paint the picture for those who don't know what you're talking about. So I think this is the first SGC. Was it maybe
Yeah,
second?
2009.
2009, maybe second.
That
I
was
think.
it was when we were like sliding across the tables
Right,
in our
right.
underwear with the
So
water and ice.
So you guys went up. We're in this. There's 1,000 people at SGC that year. It was like one of the first years we do it, and
Gotta do
Nathan's
it
out there.
again. I want to go back so bad.
Right.
So bad. I
What,
need some sort of a convention to go to party at like that.
so Nathan,
Sorry.
no, I don't know if you know this, by the way, but I actually own the SGC marks. Like I could actually bring back SGC if I wanted to. The problem with that is that I have no desire to do that because
I'm sure you need like another place to do it, and you can just be one of the attendants.
Right.
That you're setting it up technically, but like a company should set it up.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same.
No.
Right.
Well, I've been thinking about doing my own convention. And doing my own, sort of like what Mega 64 does.
Oh, sure.
I don't mean to sidetrack too much, but like they do like a 1-day convention.
Yeah.
So like the thing I've wanted to do for a long time is just like a 1-day convention, but like 24 hours. Like it goes all the way through. So there is some sort of a sleepover aspect to it at this like hotel where people bring your mattresses, bring your pads, bring your sleeping bags, and like we'll just be in this room all night, and we'll have the events. And like we'll do ghost stories or something late at night, and something that will lead us into eventually when we fall asleep. And if you don't want to fall asleep, you can go play games over in the corner on the systems. I just want to do a 24-hour Mega 64 SGC mashup thing, and like I would do like all my characters throughout the day or something.
Right.
And if you came, you could just party, and you could be the one that goes crazy.
That'd be so funny just to do. And I know I'm sidetracking from the painting the picture. Whatever. It was fun. It was nerve-wracking. I'll just leave it at that. But it'd be so funny to have a convention and like you rent out like a 10,000 square foot ballroom, right? Or like
Yep.
Maybe 6,000, whatever. And the idea is that you rent out the ballroom, because usually when you rent those stuff out, there's usually no fee attached to renting out the ballroom if you sell a certain number of hotel rooms, right? That's usually how it works. But if you were to pay the fee and you were to say, look, all I want is the ballroom for a night, right? And it was Nathan's slumber party, right? And you bring your mattress, right? And you bring your mattress, you bring your covers, you bring your pillow, I'll bring the fun, right? And,
right. I'll bring the spicy hot Cheetos.
Yeah, and the idea is that you essentially could have a certain number of real estate. Like everyone can have a twin size bed, right? And your registration to the event is the size of a twin size bed or a king size bed, and it costs more depending on what you bring, right? But
your real estate,
right,
yeah.
And it's there for one night, and the whole idea is
the tape off. We can put tape on the carpet.
Right. Sleep. How stupid! What a crazy idea. Anyway, so you guys are doing this thing in the middle of the night at SGC, right? And once again, let me paint this picture here because I do feel like it's necessary. You have at this point, Keith Apicary has all the programming is done, and Keith Apicary has taken it upon himself to take all the attendees on a conga throughout the hotel, right? That has by the way, I'm hearing about this at the time, right? I don't.
Were you like in your room or something because the night was over?
Well, that's the thing about SGC is like I was the one running it, right? So there's no event coordinator, right? Yeah, right. So I thought,
Keith hijacked it.
So Keith goes out and he's people are doing this conga line through.
We were on the pool on the roof at first.
Is that where it started?
Most people were in their underwear. Yeah, because people were just swimming, and then Keith wanted to start a wet conga. So most people were in their underwear.
Wet conga being everybody's wet and you're doing a conga, right?
Line. Yeah, exactly. From the top of the roof of the hotel, down through the hotel, through the kitchen where we weren't supposed to be.
Right,
we just went everywhere. Keith just started going. No one stopped us. It was like the cooks were all like, everyone was like into it. It was crazy. But sorry, yes.
No. But so this whole thing ends. There's some like couches and stuff that are in this like common lobby area that's meant for like moving between the spaces. Once again, this is not a very large space, right? It's not very, but there are places to sit, and there are other couches that are around. So what happens is this conga ends in this communal place, And then I guess someone had the idea of let's pull all the pillows off all the couches and see if we can jump over them.
Who would have a genius idea like that?
So
it was because all these people kept looking at me because I was like the one they knew from the videos that was awake and that was there, and I have a lot of energy and I like playing. So when the wet conga ended, we're all just standing there. And people kept saying,
it's like, what now? What now? Yeah.
And I was like, and I was just kind of scrambling my brain, like, what act can we play? And so I was just thinking of things that me and my brothers would do when we were kids and jumped over furniture and made forts or whatever. So yeah, we took the tables, and there was like these tables where people would just stand and put drinks or whatever and get things signed. And they were like these tall, sort of skinny tables and long tables, and we just started putting stuff on it. And we're just like, let's just jump over these things. So then it became like the SGC Olympics or something we were calling it. I forget what it was. It was some Olympic event. We had different events. It was jumping over the table, and there was sliding across the table. There was like rolling. We're doing spin dash contests. We're seeing who could spin dash down and like people were just like slamming into walls, getting dizzy. It was insanity. But yeah, jumping over was like the big one, and it came down to like me and this other dude. And I've never jumped higher in my life. I was really going high. It was crazy how high I was diving like 6 feet over this table, and then we just had to tuck and roll, and people were like cheering. It was like crazy, and this was like 2 a.m. in the hotel. And then it started getting crazy when the water and the ice from the drinking started getting involved, because then we wanted to start sliding across all the tables on our bellies like the penguin run in Mario 64.
It was kind of like it was kind of like if you were looking at that game Pit Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Or like
guys, is that what you're saying?
No. It's like Pit Fighter or like Bloodsport, right? Where there's this crowd and they're like rah rah, and then somebody jumps over and they're like rah, you know?
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
It's funny because I remember going down and like witnessing this, and first I'm like, God, please nobody hurt themselves. Please nobody hurt themselves.
That's where we got lucky and no one actually got hurt.
Yeah. And I'm seeing you jump over
people
these things.
Who haven't been that physically active in years. Right. Playing video games for the rest of half their lives are not jumping over tables.
Right. And I'm over here just like, please nobody get hurt. Please nobody get hurt. And then I'm like, thank God none of my guys are doing this. Then I'll look over there and I'm like, oh, there's Chad. Woo! Jumping over. I'm like, thank God none of my guys are encouraged. Oh shit, there's Chad. You know? Oh man.
Destin was the one you could guarantee wouldn't be doing something.
Right. Destin was very straight laced.
Jose was down there, I think.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
It was chaos. It was chaos. So the thing about Nathan though, or the thing about Keith was, like after that, I was like, oh my God, like Keith was such an important part of the energy of SGC, right?
Yeah.
So we have 2 SGCs. It goes away. We kickstart it to bring it back, right? And I remember it was like, well, we have to have Keith back, right? We have to have Keith back at SGC, and I get a hold of you, and I remember we were in the panel room. It was a different location. We were in a panel room, and I remember hearing, "Hey, Nathan's here. Nathan is here. Okay, sounds good." And I remember getting a radio call. Nathan's here. Keith's here. He's on the premises. Okay, so immediately my butt clenches, right? And I'm like, what's going to happen this year? Because not only is Keith the energy of SGC, he's also the biggest liability of SGC, right? Right.
And like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do, because I'm aware, I'm thinking as Nathan and Keith, but like I honestly, I get lost in the character, and do not remember I'm Nathan because I'm so in it. And I'll do something, I'll go, that was as it's happening, I go, that was a bad idea, but it's already happening.
Right.
I think I know what you're getting to, but I don't know if I think I know what you're about to say.
Go ahead.
Well, when I got there, this is 2010, I think.
Yep.
Paul and I drove, and Laszlo, who was Keith's sister, Kelly Apicary, came. We drove from LA, and I remember getting out of the car, and everyone was like, Keith, because we pull into the parking lot, there's people out there. The very first, because I had the gear on, I got dressed in the gear before we actually pulled into the hotel. So I was Keith from the beginning. And they were like, Keith. And I was like, yeah. And I got so pumped when I saw everyone. They started yelling Keith that I just climbed a lamppost to the hotel and just started like I was on top of this like 12, it was more than that. It was 20-foot lamppost. I could see like on top of the hotel, the first level of the hotel. I climbed up on top of this thing and just started screaming. I don't even know what I was doing. I just had to climb something and scream. And so I did. And I don't know if that's what you had heard of or something else. Then I went to the hotel and I blacked out basically after that. I don't know what happened as soon as I go in the hotel as Keith.
Well, you went in the hotel and then you started climbing the walls inside the Right. Well, do you legitimately not remember this?
No, I don't remember what I did. I just remember climbing that light post when I first got out of the car.
Well, I love that you just blacked out. I don't remember anything after.
It's all a blur. STC is a blur for me.
But,
and I didn't drink alcohol at this point in my life. I didn't have alcohol until I was 34 years old.
Oh, wow.
And that was like, I didn't need it. It was good that I didn't drink alcohol back then.
Okay, we're going to circle back to that in just a second. Okay, but hold on.
Okay.
So you had Nate. Okay, Keith is here, right? I get it on radio. 15 minutes later, Craig, we need you at the panel room. Something happened to Keith.
Oh no! Wait, what happened?
Well, you had climbed the walls, up on the side of the wall, and then you jumped down off the wall, probably 10 or 12 feet, and you shattered your ankle or whatever.
No, that was later.
Was it
that
later?
Was a different SGC. We're thinking of different SGC.
Okay,
that was SGC 4 or something. Or 3. How many did you do?
5.
No, it was way later.
Okay.
Did I not? Maybe I didn't go to the last one. That one was 2013.
Was it? Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was the reboot. 2013 was the reboot. Yes.
2010, the first thing I did was climb the pole.
Yes.
Yeah. But then if we're jumping up to 2013, I was there for a while. I think a day, and then the next day I was doing the Keith show. I wanted to surprise the audience because they're like looking at the stage, and I'm supposed to like come up on the stage. I wanted to drop down, and they'd be like, "He was above us this whole time," and I fell down because I jumped off a lot of things, and I climbed on top of this doorway, and it didn't even work out because I got hesitant when I was up there, and then people started seeing me. They're like, "Go!" And I was like, I kind of ruined the whole thing. But now I'm up here, I have to jump down. My mistake was if I just kind of like dropped off, I might have been okay, but I like jumped up and out, which made it higher. So I think total my max height was probably like 14 feet. And I just dropped down onto concrete because it's just a carpet on top of concrete in those ballrooms.
Right.
And I shattered my heel instantly. It was just busted to pieces.
I remember.
I didn't know. So I did the whole show on one foot, and I took my shoe off, and people were like, what is happening? People were like, people knew I was always deep in character. But then I think people started getting really confused because I still wasn't stopping. And then they saw my foot. I had my shoe off. I was hopping on one foot, and my foot was masked up. It was like dark black and blue. And people were like, didn't know if they should sing along. And I just kept diving on everyone because I was like, I couldn't stop the show. I was like, I can't just leave now. I have to at least just do the show. Then I'll go figure out what happened to my foot. And yeah, I shattered my foot. But I was all freaking pumped up. I just had to like do something. That I learned many lessons that day, and I've since taken so many more precautions, and I've not done a lot of stunts that I would have done because of that day, and I probably saved myself more.
That was
so.
That was. I couldn't believe. Number one, I couldn't believe that you jumped. I mean, I could believe you jumped off it, right? Because you.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe that you shattered your ankle, right? And the biggest
hardest bone to break, the heel, calcaneus, and I did it easy.
Well, jumping 14 feet down may do that, but the biggest thing is once again you continued the show. I couldn't believe it.
I felt bad. I mean, it was like whatever, broken bone. I'll fix it later. I'm here now. I gotta do this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did an hour show. Did all the jokes. Did all the songs. I was diving on everyone. I was messing around because I was like, if I have to like be limping for the rest of the convention, I should like do something. Right. And here I am. And I also thought about how at PAX the year before, I got kicked out right before my show. Because I was too crazy. I don't even know what I did that year.
Right.
I crashed G4 or something. But they kicked me out minutes before I was about to start my show. I was about to walk to my show, and they were like, stop me from going in. And I was like, can you just let me do these songs? You can stand next to me the whole time. So I just have to say these songs, and then I will leave because people are waiting for me. And I felt so bummed out about that. I did a follow-up show in Massachusetts later. I had a video game store that my friend owned just to like make up for the people who didn't get to see. I felt so bad about that. So at SGC, I was like, I can't stop. I have to do this. Then I'll go get my foot checked. And turns out they were like, oh, you'll be here for a week. You're stuck. You have to get surgery. And I was like, gosh, what? I never had surgery. I never broken a bone. I broke my thumb one time running up a staircase and like knocked it out of the socket. It was such a simple thing though. I'd never like been told like, oh, and you might not ever run again. I was like, I started freaking out. The doctors were like, yeah, this is like a serious thing. They had to check my spine because a lot of times if you break a heel, you often break both. And then you also break your spine because the pressure from that height, if it's high enough to break a heel, which is the hardest bone in your body, that's why it's your heel, it takes all your weight and your pressure.
Yeah.
If you break it, you probably compressed your spine and think your, parts of your spine are like bust out just from being crushed down. So you're lucky if you don't break your back, they say, and if you don't break both. So the fact that I only broke one of my heels, they're like, you got pretty good bones, I guess. But then after I had it fixed, the doctor told me, she's like, I don't even want to tell you this because I know she learned about me as I got my surgery and like talked to her in all my doctor visits. And she's like, I don't want to tell you this, but your heel is stronger than it ever was now that we have these screws and the cement in there. It's actually harder than it ever was. So I go, ooh, that's good to know. I can jump off everything now. I'm jumping off the moon. So anyways, yes, I got it fixed and it was fine. But I never been in depression in my life until going home. And then I was stuck on this knee scooter for 5 months. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't jump. I couldn't climb. I couldn't do any physical comedy. There's a dance video I did when I shouldn't have. And it's called Dead Man's Bones. It's me in a skeleton suit where I danced all around. I still had my broken foot. It was the first day they let me take the cast off. And they're like, it's not fully healed. So in the dance video, you can't tell, but I was putting so much more weight. I was basically just standing, but not putting weight on my foot. Even while dancing, I could put weight on my toe, but not put my heel down all the way. So I did this whole dance video where it looks like I'm just dancing. And I was my foot leg was so skinny at that point. There was like nothing to my leg at that because I've been off of it for 6 months.
Right.
But I was like, I have to do something. It was the first day I got off and I had this idea. I was waiting to get the cast off. I put the suit on and went out and shot for like 2 days because I was going crazy not filming and using my body. So anyways, yeah, but Keith broke. I always say I didn't break my heel. Keith broke my heel at Screw Attack. I mean, it makes sense that it happened at a Screw Attack convention. For 4 years, he's been going crazy climbing things and nothing happened. Like, it had to happen. And I'm glad it did because it smartened me up. But yeah, I remember that was a stressful year for you.
I remember, it's okay. It's long gone. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Do it again now.
Right. No,
I'm glad you don't think about it.
I remember thinking, like, kind of the same thing. Like, I hope this kind of smartens him up a little bit, and I hope he kind of pulls back a little bit on the reins because I remember, yeah, and I'm glad it did because like you were nuts. But
I know, I honestly, I very well could have died. I've done so many dumb, stupid things. I jump trains, moving trains. I do all kinds of like just dumb stuff because it's fun and I just like adventure. But you gotta do things sensibly. And I just didn't have the thought I could die or break a bone. I just genuinely didn't have that because it just never happened. I just jumped off stuff and I was always fine. So that's why I just thought, oh, I'll just duck and roll and it'll be fine. I didn't think like, oh, math, height, bone.
Sure.
So it's good that it happened.
I remember, I don't think I've ever told you this. Maybe I have, but I don't know. So E3, you wanted to go to E3 one year. And I was like, sure, come on. And that was the year that you shot a video there at E3, and that was the whole thing of Keith going to E3. And I remember very vividly you were sliding down the stairs face first with your stomach sliding down, right? There's that one, and you interrupted G4, right? While they were filming, you want to know where the Dreamcast 2 was.
Oh yeah, the Olivia Munn, the fabled clip. The
Right.
Dreamcast 2 guy is what I
What,
got
huh?
known as.
Yeah. What, huh?
Yeah. Security
Um,
grabbed me so fast.
so you were escorted out after that? Is that right? Is that
Yeah,
how?
yeah. After that, I think they kicked me out.
Okay.
Then I
So
went back the next day.
okay. So the next year, when
Maybe.
after that, the next year
Mhm.
we tried to get past it. We were going for E3, and I sent in all of our applications and everything for E3, and they denied us. And they're like, "You can't come because Keith Apicary was with you last year."
You did not tell me this. I'm
So-
laughing, but I also feel bad.
No. They go, "You can't come because you invited him in last year." And I was
That
like,
guy.
"Yeah, right." It was like that guy came under your banner, and it was like, so after like talking and essentially negotiating with E3 for like weeks, right? We were effectively
Wow.
put on probation, and they allowed us like 3 passes to go, and they're like,
Wow.
"We're watching you. If you ever screw up again, like you're never coming back to E3."
Keith is a liability for sure.
right.
He gets that gold. He gets that quality gold content that you want, but he's a liability.
Comes at a cost. Sometimes.
It sure does.
But yeah, I was like, oh no, But it's fun to kind of look back and laugh on that stuff now, because it's like,
Yeah, because then when you see the Keith video, it's very innocent stuff. I
Right.
don't ever like. He's not vulgar. He's not rude to anyone. He doesn't insult anyone. He's not doing like troll interviews where he's just being mean. He's just playing, and he gets kicked out for usually climbing something because he
Yeah.
just wants to like touch the thing or get on this big mech warrior or whatever. So I always think, well, he's just an innocent person. You can't get mad at him. He's pushing the boundaries in a way where I feel like you can't get upset with him or me for doing these things because it's not like I'm really doing anything bad.
well,
Bad for me. I could get hurt. Maybe
Right.
I guess someone else could get hurt if I knock something over, but I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
But yes, I understand why people don't want me to come. There was another year I got in through you guys a bunch, and then I got in through other places, other networks and stuff. One year Comedy Central got me in, and that was the year I wasn't gonna shoot anything. I just wanted to walk around because I was like so tired from just going crazy as Keith. I was like, I just want to do my own thing. And that year was a year I got followed by I think G4 was still around. That was the year they followed me because I'm trying to remember how this played out. It was G4, I did the Olivia Munn thing. The first year, that was 2010. 2009, I crashed a G4 podcast just for my own clip, and it was on their audio. You could hear it. The only thing that showed up on the podcast was a guy going, "Huh? What? Who's that guy?" But what was I walked through with the Virtual Boy on. I walked through their shot, and for my shot, my friend Johnny Pemberton, who is an actor, he shot that for me because he was there. I was like, "Hey, do you mind holding the camera for me to shoot something?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And he just got that clip for me. And I walked through the podcast. The second year I did the Olivia Munn thing. So I went up when I got Olivia Munn. I said, "Hey, you know where the Dreamcast 2 is?" And she was like, what? And everyone's like, "Yes, someone's finally asking the questions that we want G4 to ask." That was like that's why I wanted to do it, because Keith always had this thing about G4, like not actually talking about things that people cared about and then obviously playing cops forever. But so Keith asked them, because they're journalists, where it was. He figured Olivia Munn would know, but she didn't, because, they don't actually care about video games. Anyway, that was my whole little commentary on that network.
Way to go.
That's why I always crashed them, because Keith had it out for them, because the real fans knew that they stunk. So anyways, I did that. And then there was the year I printed out wanted posters for Keith. And I was there as Keith, and I put them around G4's stuff. So because it was for my bit where I wanted people to think, for my bit in the video I was making, it was supposed to be that G4 was looking for Keith. So I printed out with G4 logos, and it said wanted, or like beware of this man or something like that, and had Keith's face on it. And I put them all over E3 so that people would find them, and it would start this whole, like, people would be like, who's this guy? And then they'd see me like, "Oh, that's that guy." I wanted to build this like lore about this guy who was crashing G4. I was making myself a bigger deal than I was.
Mm-hmm.
And though they probably weren't even actually thinking about me. And then it got on. Someone sent me a clip online of some woman on G4 is talking about some game, and she was like, blah, 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 blah. Here we are at E3. In the background, there's a guy standing there holding Keith's wanted sign in the shot like the whole time. And I was like, yes, I did it. I crashed their broadcast, and I didn't even have to be there. I'm on it. I did it. It worked. That's why I was like, that's a bonus for me. And then the next year, there's two ends to this story. The next year, when I was there with my friend at Comedy Central, I was just walking around. We got followed. Like for a while, this guy in a suit, we kept following us. And my friend was like, why is this guy following us? I was like, it's probably because he thinks I'm going to do something. Because every time I come here, I do crazy stuff. And he's like, what the heck? So I asked the security guy, I was like, are you following us because you think I'm going to do something? He goes, yeah, they told me to keep my eye on you. And I was like, okay, well, I promise you I won't do anything. He said, all right. And he kept following us for a while. Eventually he went away. And then I went to G4 and did a bit on, I don't know if it was Attack of the Show. I did a bit for a segment on some show on G4. And I went to the studio, the network, and I was checking in at security. And the security guy goes, I give him my license. He goes, I know you. I was like, I thought maybe he'd seen like a commercial or knew a video or something. And he goes, you're the guy they tell us to look out for at E3. And I was like, what? Because I guess they use the actual security from their company to go to E3. The people at the lobby, when they check you in, security of the building for G4 actually go to the convention to probably stand by their booths and do work security there. So that guy was like, yeah, they would talk about you. And what I did with the sign wasn't actually a lie, it turns out. When I was putting the sign there saying, wanted, keep your eye out for this guy, they actually did it. So the guy told me, because I was just there as an actor that day, as Nathan, to be on this other show. And I learned that security would be briefed at E3. Watch out for this guy. Here's an image of him. He shows up every year. So it was a thing that they were actually looking for. I was like, this is cool. I'm like I'm a celebrity to the G4 security. So anyways, I'm King Troll. Can't stop me.
That's the best. Wow.
Long story. Sorry, but I just
no. No, that's outstanding. Wait, G4 is coming back, right?
Shut up. For real?
You haven't heard this?
No, they are?
Yeah.
That makes me want to be like, bring Keith Apicary on. Just give him his own show and race the enemy.
Right, yeah.
It would do well. Oh my gosh, that gives me an idea. Craig, we need to talk to them. I have an idea I should talk to you about.
Okay.
You and I should go in on something over there. I have the Keith thing I've been talking to you about forever that I haven't been able to do. But now we're like having like a business meeting on your podcast.
Bring it in. It's okay. Let's go.
I should talk to you about, I don't want to say it on the podcast, but I should talk to you about that idea, the Keith idea I've been working on forever.
Okay.
So maybe there's a place for it now.
So
if they're coming back. What's the deal? What are they doing?
Nobody really knows, but it's on Twitter. It's at G4TV. They just kind of tweeted out that they tweeted out. Let's see. We never stop playing. And they had a video.
So basically it's there. It's still thinking.
Well, so apparently it's getting rebooted later down the line. Like sometime it ends with a saying it's coming back in 2021. So
I wonder if it's going to be like on demand, like a Netflix cloud network type thing, or if it's just going to be like a YouTube channel or an app, or I don't know what it's going to be.
I don't know, but yeah, like listen, I would love to work with you on a show for this.
Same here. Last time I saw you in Texas, I was like so excited to be there in your space. And even I like looking at this. I just want to be in a nice space making a show. And I have this one show that could be done I could do it here. I'm in my garage right now, and you can see I film things in here all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
This is where all the arcade games used to be. You can see the 80s wall painting, splatter painted the whole place when I had games in here. And now I just film in here. But the thing I want to shoot could be done so easily. I just need a handful of people to help me make it. I need physical people. And I feel like you're the guy to go to help this thing get made.
Nice. Well,
so
let's figure this out, because I know, probably in a few months they're going to start probably looking for shows, right? I mean, it's probably so. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I would love to make that happen.
It's making me very excited, like really excited.
Right.
It's giving me reason to live. So
gaming TV is coming back. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if they're gonna put it on TV. It says G4 TV, but you could say TV for anything
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I guess we'll see.
Wow, I'm glad that I heard it from you.
Hey, I'm here.
You
Listen.
screw it, Zach, still bringing me all the gaming news that I didn't know.
Hey, this is hard news. There you go.
You heard it here first.
CraigSkitz podcast exclusive.
Yeah.
So let's. I want to take a step back and talk about you having your first drink of alcohol at 34.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
So wait,
yeah, I never drank. That's Keith. All those years, I never did drugs, never drank, never did anything. I was like a straight edge kid. I just didn't need it, But I'm also. It is a health conscious thing because I'm relatively healthy. I try to be active and eat well. But I never drank alcohol, but that was mostly because I just never was around it as a kid. None of my friends, my dad didn't drink beer. My mom had wine sometimes. None of my friends that I fell into, my brothers did it. We just didn't drink. And then people often ask, like, "Oh, were you like Mormon or something?" It wasn't like I was Catholic, but it wasn't really a religious thing. It was just I met other friends who skateboarded and also didn't want to drink, and then we sort of became like the skater punks who like got picked on by the jocks who were all drinking in the woods. So I didn't want to be like them, so it pushed me farther away from it. And then after high school, I got into like punk and hardcore and learned about like straight edge from like the 80s. Ian MacKaye from Minor Threat coined the term straight edge. And that was like no promiscuous sex, no drugs, no alcohol. Those were like the rules or whatever. But like it was like you do it for yourself, do whatever you want. I just didn't want to be intoxicated, and I didn't have a reason to because look at me, I'm climbing on buildings, I'm going crazy. It'd be bad if I did. I just truly didn't need it. I felt good all the time, and I was like, why would I ever do that? But then when I broke my foot at SGC, that's what it's like. It's all Keith's fault. Keith changed me.
No. Please don't tell me that's why you had your first drink.
It's not why. I'd been thinking about it forever. I didn't understand what being drunk was, what it meant, what it did, how you felt. I was like, what is being drunk? What do you see? What do you feel? What is it? And people are just like, oh, you feel like more relaxed, or you get more energy, or you feel like kind of tipsy. I was like, well, that's a lot of things. Like, what is it? I don't understand. I need to know this. What does it do to me? So it was a sheer curiosity of 34 years of not doing this thing that almost every person on earth does.
Sure.
I was like, I want to try it just to see. I was afraid of it. I thought I would get sick. I got nervous. It was like, I also had this guilt associated. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this. Should I do it? And then ultimately after a while, I was like, who cares? Whatever. I just didn't care anymore. So I was at home. My girlfriend at the time, she worked for Adult Swim, and she had left town. She went to Atlanta. She would go back and forth a lot to their like headquarters. And she was out of town, and it was just me and the dog, and I had a broken foot. And all I was doing was watching wrestling, playing GTA 5 because it just came out, and The Last of Us. And this is 2013, and I couldn't do anything. So I took my knee scooter down the street to the Co-op grocery store, and I didn't know what alcohol to drink. I thought wine would be the easiest thing to drink. And my girlfriend at the time, who was a very small woman, said, oh, when I was in my early 20s, I would drink a whole bottle of wine a night. But that's because she was drinking heavily at 24 years old, partying. And she's like 5 feet tall. So I was like, okay, if she drank a whole bottle of wine at night, and that's what got her drunk. Because the whole point was to feel drunk. I just wanted to feel the feeling of, okay, this is intoxicated. I feel it. I don't want to take a sip and then like, oh, it was gross and I don't feel it and that was a waste of my time. I don't want to do another sip now. So I was like, I'll just drink the amount that will get me drunk, and then I'll sit and wait to get drunk. So it's like I didn't have any understanding. I was like a toddler, honestly. I was like an alien. What does this drink you drink? I was like Elf. I didn't know, because I didn't talk to anyone about alcohol. I didn't know what a shot was. I didn't know how much a shot. I didn't know anything. I was dropped here on Earth. And I was like, I went to the Co-op on my scooter. I got a bottle of red wine. It cost $15. And I was like, I'm just going to drink the wine and then I'll wait. So I went over the sink and I pinched my nose because the wine smells so gross. I still hate wine. I never drink wine. I plugged my nose and I drank the entire bottle of wine. And I think I drank it about 45 seconds. I know it was under a minute because I looked at the stove clock and the minute didn't change by the time I was done. I chugged the whole bottle of wine. It was just drink, chug. Some of it was like spilling out of my mouth. I was over the sink, drank the whole thing, had the aftertaste. I was like, ah, just one big nasty aftertaste. And then I sat down on the couch and waited. And I think it hit me in like 20 minutes. It was really quick. All of a sudden, I just went, I got like, and how I associate it to, like, because no one could ever describe to me what it felt like, what it feels like to be drunk. Good description. So I think I have a pretty good description for people who don't know what it feels like. For me, I know it can be different. Different alcohols do different things, whatever, different people personalities, different amounts. But if you have never had alcohol in your life and you weigh 100, I weighed 155 pounds. If you drink a whole bottle of wine, and you've never done it before, potentially what will happen to you is it will feel like you just got off of a roller coaster or a spinning ride. And you know how you're kind of like, it feels like that 10 seconds, then you kind of like get your bearings again. It feels like that pretty hardly, like hard in a way. So it's like you got off the craziest ride and you're still like this. Because all I felt was like, I felt really good. I felt very happy, which I usually do feel. So it was more happy, and I was dizzy. And I was talking so much. So I took my phone out and I started documenting the whole thing because I was like, I should document this. And then I watched the video later, and what I was talking about the whole time was, I thought I was going to talk about like, okay, this is how I feel. And I think I did that in the beginning. I was like, I feel dizzy. I feel like I just got off a ride. And things are like, I feel like I can't stop moving, but I know things aren't moving. I think it's just my head I was just describing everything. And then it turned into the dog, Frankie, was running for mayor of Muffinville, and everyone needed to vote for him. And that's why I started talking about, like, it's like I was on drugs. And I started saying, it's like, I need everyone. I wasn't talking, I was just filming myself. And I was going to show my girlfriend this video. I was like, everyone, you have to vote for Frankie. Look at him. He's the Muffin Man, because we just call him the Muffin Man. And that was like our stupid name. And Frankie, you're going to get all the votes. Please, everyone, vote for the mayor of Muffinville. We need him to be the mayor. And I was like, I don't know what I was talking about. I was losing my mind. And that's what wine did to me. So that was my very first experience on ever drinking alcohol. And I was like, okay, I get it. I didn't get sick. I didn't get a hangover. I still have yet never in my life had a hangover.
Ooh, wow.
I don't know why, ever. I don't have a headache. I don't ever feel gross the next day. And there's been nights where I've had a lot. But I think it's because when I do have alcohol, I hate the taste of alcohol so much. Even if it's like a Mai Tai or something super fruity, the alcohol's in there. I shouldn't be drinking alcohol. It's not meant for my tongue or my taste buds. But when I do drink alcohol, I swallow an equal amount of mouthful of water every time just to wash it down because it's gross. And there's been times I haven't done that, and I still haven't had a hangover. I think I burn it. I also don't stay drunk for very long. I burn it off really fast. So I think I just haven't had it in me long enough, or I had enough. If I did, I'd probably throw up. And then I wouldn't have.
You know the secret. The secret is drink equal amounts of water as you do alcohol. You can still get the
I haven't done that, and I haven't had a hangover still. And
still impressive.
Be bad because I fall asleep drunk, and I'll wake up the next morning, and like I'll have a little bit of like cotton mouth. I'll be thirsty because I'm dehydrated, but that's the worst of it. I think I'm very lucky, but I also absolutely hate alcohol, and I will never drink it a ton because I hate it.
Have you taken a shot?
Many times.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wasn't quite sure.
There's been nights. That's the thing with alcohol. It's like sometimes it hits you, like one drink will hit you because if you didn't have enough to eat. But then there's times where like I'll have a bunch of food and I'm like, oh, it's never gonna hit me tonight. And then I'm like, whoa, it actually got me. A while ago, it was a night I had 4 shots of vodka. And I don't ever drink vodka. I usually just drink rum. I like rum and Florida drinks and vacation stuff, tiki drinks.
Sure.
But like I had 4 shots of vodka and nothing happened to me.
Wow.
But I was like dancing, so I was sweating, and I probably just sweated all. Like I didn't feel tipsy in the least all night. That was a ripoff. That was a waste of money. So that's the thing. I don't ever want to do it. I don't even want to be doing it, but I do it for it's still a new thing to me relatively. So it's like, ooh, that's like I should do that drunk thing tonight. So it's like still kind of like, I don't know if nuance is the word or whatever, but like that's the only reason to do it. Eventually I'm going to never do it again because it's like, oh yeah, I'd been there, done that.
Well, this is what we're going to do. Well, I have 2 questions. Number 1, is the footage of you recording your first experience still out there?
No, I deleted it because I was so embarrassed. And I still had that like fear. I know. And I'm really upset about that. And Siobhan, my ex-girlfriend, who I'm still friends with, she was like, I really wish you kept that. But I was like, I felt like I sinned because I'd never drank. I know, I wish so badly that I still had it. But it's still every time I do get drunk, it's a very similar situation where I'm just like saying the weirdest things, but
So
it's like
here's-
Keith on alcohol. It's weird.
right. What if when you find your way to Texas, we get together and we'll play a game or two, and we can add just little bits of alcohol to it, right? And
I'm into it.
And we could,
As Nathan or as Keith, it would be crazy if it was Keith.
however you want it to be, right?
We'll figure it out.
And we'll do it at your house so it doesn't mess up my house.
Perfect. And I'm planning on having a pool at wherever this house will be.
Ooh,
so
don't drink while you're drunk. That's a horrible idea.
And pool. I know, bad idea.
That's a horrible idea. Yes, you will. Well, man, oh man, oh well. This has been so much fun. I feel like we could talk forever. I say this all the time, but
Really, this has like been a really great time for me. I'm just like hanging out with my friend.
That's the idea. That's the idea of the show, man. I hope everyone's enjoyed this, and we'll do this soon. And I'm serious. We're gonna get you to Texas, and I'm gonna help you with this.
I'll talk to you very soon about a lot of things. Maybe I'll talk to you later today or whenever you're free.
Whenever you want, buddy.
Or whatever. But yeah, I got a lot to talk to you about.
Okay,
big plans. Let's
good.
do it. Let's party in Texas.
I love it. I love it. I love everything about this. This is great. This is going to be the best thing in the world. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. That's Nathan. He's the best. Nathan, I'm gonna say bye to you now. But we're gonna keep recording.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Okay. Adios.
Told you it was going to be a good time, man. I love talking with Nathan, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation too. If you made it this far, consider hitting the subscribe button and coming back every single week, Mondays at noon, for new episodes of the podcast. Also on Wednesdays, like I said, I have the Screw Attack reaction videos to classic Screw Attack videos, which is great. So I'd really appreciate your support. Also, heading over to Patreon, patreon.com/CraigSkitz. Your support there is paramount. Go watch more of the podcast if you made it this far. And of course, the Screw Attack reaction videos every Wednesday. Guys, have a great week. I'll see you guys next Monday. It's going to be a good one. Episode 9.